Hello everyone, Maryann here, revealing light, tarot, astrology and spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. I have viewers from all across the world, from the US, from Europe, from Africa, countries in Africa, in Australia, of course, New Zealand, Canada. A big, huge shout out to Canadians, my Canadian friends. Anyway, wherever you are in the world when you're joining me, a huge shout out to you. Okay, I watched with, I guess, concern as the flotilla reached, it was still in international waters when it was intercepted, and all those on the flotilla are arrested and taken to an Israeli prison, which has a terrible reputation for torture and abuse. There have been stories coming over the internet of injuries suffered by those in the flotilla, at the hands of the Israelis. And why would we be surprised given what we see on a daily basis in Gaza? On that, you may or may not know that Netanyahu is paying influencers in America $7,000 per post, yes, you heard that correctly, to shill for Israel. So be careful. Be careful when you come across these people, because they're paid by a foreign country, which I don't know if they're registered under the FARA laws, whether they're registered as foreign agents. I don't know. But anyway, that's what's happening. And as you know, a huge Larry Ellison from Oracle is in the process, I think, of taking over TikTok, and already they're talking about seeing posts that are censured because of their Israeli content or content on Gaza. It's just being blacklisted from those sites. So we have to be aware of information being suppressed and manipulated at, wherever we are on social media. You have to put your discerning cap on and be very careful of what you're seeing and what you're hearing, and making sure that that is actually the truth. Okay, so the flotilla I watched with concern. There is rumours that Greta Thunberg will be released. There's also rumours that she was beaten, dragged by the hair, and a terrible, terrible thing, and made to kiss the Israeli flag. We'll get the truth when she is released. A Scottish lady had her leg broken by a guard that slammed a door on it. Lots and lots of information coming out, and generally this is from the lips of the people who have been released. Okay, so what else do we need to look at? So the Gaza ceasefire plan, I saw images, and I did check with AI whether they were true images of bulldozers going into Gaza, Egyptian bulldozers going to Gaza. That was deemed to be true by the AI that I used, and this would be the start of reconstruction, I guess, or building temporary camps for the Palestinians. The ceasefire plan has not been implemented yet. We haven't seen hostage release, or we haven't seen withdrawal from Gaza. So we'll ask if that ceasefire plan will be fully implemented, or will be implemented. Also, we see here the decision by the Oregon federal judge that Trump acted illegally, or would act illegally, to send the National Guard into Oregon. I just saw this morning that he's mobilising the California Guard to send into Oregon. Of course, that question's still before SCOTUS, whether or not they will find that Trump cannot illegally deploy the National Guard. There's a huge agenda coming up for the Supreme Court sitting in October, That is one of the key questions, as well as the tariff questions. And of course, Lisa Cook, the federal governor, is the Reserve Board governor, one of the governors there, is allowed to stay on the board while the case plays out, and I think there's a hearing in January on that. So three key things coming up among many. So we'll ask if SCOTUS will find that he's illegally deploying the National Guard. I saw footage of the ICE in Chicago, and I have to say I was so proud. You don't realise the pushback at the ordinary level, ordinary citizen level, against ICE, against the National Guard, military on the streets. But of all demographics, whether they were, young men driving the big Dodge Ram things, or whether they were, women but a whole lot of pushback against ICE brutalising someone that they were arresting, and eventually ICE had to go. Seems that Chicagoans do not take kindly to what ICE is doing, the brutalisation of ICE. And military, a threat of military on the streets. Well, I want to look at Israel. What's the future of Israel, and particularly what's the future of the far-right extremist cabinet members? You know them. I don't need to say their names, but they're the ones shouting, spewing extreme Zionist propaganda everywhere, and allowing the theft of land on the West Bank. So we'll look at that. Will Trump put boots on the ground in Venezuela? And does Trump eventually cave to open the government? I said it was going to be a longer shutdown rather than a shorter one. And if we've got time, I'll do a Kipper reading on Trump in October, and we'll see what comes up. As usual, I have my card shuffler. I have the Rider-Waite deck, I have the Toth mini deck, and I have my Cairo Marchetti's Kipper deck. Okay, let's get started. So did they abuse the flotilla? Did Israel abuse? Oh, I've got the Chariot. Chariot comes out, and decisions. So I hope that what I read was correct, that Greta Thunberg is being released, and all of the flotilla. Every country around the world has members of the citizens in that flotilla. We have Australians on those ships that are currently in prison, and our government is on the ground advocating for those. They were arrested in international waters. This is a kidnapping. All right. Did Israel mistreat, abuse, injure, or all of the above, some of the above? Did Israel mistreat, abuse, or injure any flotilla members? Pardon me. Okay, so we get the three of wands, and of course that's waiting for one ship to come in. So there was a plan how they would be treated before they got to the shore, and we get the truth here. So that's interesting. You get someone standing on the shore waiting for the ships to come closer, and then we have the Knight of Swords, which is the truth. The truth will out. We have the Ace of Pentacles, which is at the foundation of the reading. That is a monetary reset financially. I think they had in mind too. I mean, Italy has just gone on a national strike. Doesn't matter where you are, whether it's the Amsterdam, I think 30% of Amsterdam's population is marching for Gaza, has marched for Gaza in recent days. Doesn't matter where you go. In the UK, very worrying scenes. A blind man holding up a sign, Free Palestine, or Stop the Genocide in Gaza, or whatever the sign was, some ineffectual sign that he was holding up. Blind man was escorted away and arrested by about 5 policemen in the UK. What the hell is going on? Okay, that's moving out of troubled waters. That's in the past. That's them getting on their way. That's in the past. So they were safe. I'm wondering what Israel is demanding here for release. And I think they're mistreating those from countries that have recognised Palestine and the two-state solution. In the sky, we get the muddying of waters. So they're going to lie. Flotilla is going to say they were abused. Israel's going to say they weren't. What's new? Now we get the Lovers card here. Relationships. So there's something that they're doing. And, you know, country embassy staff in Israel for the various countries would know more. But there's something that Israel is doing. It's sort of like holding them hostage in a way. The Chariot card is things moving very quickly, getting out of control. And then we get the lies. Wow. So those flotilla members that they've released, they're just going to paint them as terrorists. They're going to lie that they were injured. Israel I'm talking about. But this just shows lies and deceit, okay? And moving quickly with those lies as well. Lying from the beginning. 3 cups lost and 1 cup remaining in the hopes and fears. Some have been released, but some haven't. And then we get five of Pentacles, the victim here, locking them up, and then we get new starts. So, and the Hierophant, the government, the courts. I think we're going to hear more from the, I'm going to call them hostages because they were kidnapped in international waters and imprisoned. Hostages, the global hostages that were taken by Israel. We're going to hear more about them. In a court situation, or governments coming out and deploring what has happened. The Queen of Pentacles, stability or lack of it. And then we get manipulation. I feel they weren't treated the same. High-profile ones may have been used as an example. Those from those countries that recognise Palestine and the two-state solution may have been treated more poorly. Was there abuse going on? Yeah, they are the victims. And, you know, hopefully they will be released. Now, this is Israel taking on too much. Justice is coming and a deal being done. Control and despair. So, will they be released? Will they be released? Will all the hostages be released? I'm going to call them hostages. Israel's taken hostages. Will all the flotilla change? It's a good card. Will all the hostages, the flotilla hostages be released? Will all the flotilla hostages be released? Okay, looks like they will. They've got a plan, perhaps a stage release here. Some have already been released. Will all the hostages, the flotilla hostages, be released? All right. Oh, defending oneself. That's a maybe. Let's not so fast. What are they? Is this a bond or something they're going to ask? Not so fast. There's deals done with countries. It seems like they're doing deals with countries in some way to get to release these citizens. Not all. Certainly not now and not all. Anyway, there's something nefarious going on there, for sure. And there has been some abuse as well. These flotilla members are not terrorists. They're humanitarians. They were in international waters. They were arrested and thrown into prison and mistreated and abused by Israel. Why are we not surprised? All right, let's have a look at the Gaza ceasefire plan. You do know Trump and Vance quoted Hamas talking points around the ceasefire. And why is that? Because the Gulf countries have done the deal with Israel and the main players in the US from the military-industrial complex to get toward this ceasefire so that there will be peace and profits in the Middle East region. You only have to look at Kushner and Blair's plan to understand how this is all going to work. Massive hotels. The Gaza will be the Riviera of the Middle East. Come on. Okay. But at least Gazans will not be being continually bombed and killed and murdered by Israel. All right, will the Gaza ceasefire plan, so which Trump has backed, no two ways about it. Trump got a lot of money from the Middle East. Okay. Will the Gaza ceasefire plan be implemented? Will the Gaza ceasefire plan be implemented and a ceasefire in Gaza enacted? Will the ceasefire plan be implemented in Gaza? Okay, so we get, yes, there will be stability coming to that region, but we have to be patient, not right now. So why am I surprised? Okay, the details are still being ironed out. 2 weeks, 2 months. It's a period of time, but there will be stability in Gaza. Right now, it's still in that precarious phase. We get isolation, dark night of the soul in the past. And we get the death card, the end of death, I hope. I'm interpreting these positively. There's still innocent civilians being murdered in Gaza. I think there's 20 or so hostages left. And yeah, the hostages will go free. And the bombs will stop, but not right now. So someone's holding out for something else. We get retreat, mortally wounded, and we get, again, waiting for one ship to come in. The tower in the hopes and fears, and the outcome is yes. Three involved here. Yes, there will be a ceasefire implemented. We do get toxicity and the devil, so expect disruption along the way, and restriction as well. And of course, there we get to the heart of this. There is money to be made in the reconstruction of Gaza. Okay, so we get the King of Swords and the past. And the Queen of Swords. So a lot of objectivity. Yes, there will be a ceasefire, but we have to be patient. I think it's not more than 2 months away. I hope that's 2 weeks. So something coming to fruition in time. What comes to fruition in time? The ceasefire plan is implemented. Okay, let's get on to the future of Israel. I'm going to change decks to the Thoth. Let's give the Thoth deck a shuffle with my trusty card shuffler, just until I have my operation on my hands. I'm getting that little bit of help, so I don't have to do as much heavy shuffling, but I do the final shuffle with my hands on decks, so don't worry. All right, so let's have a look at Israel. Will the far right members of the Israeli cabinet fall, be replaced by more moderate politicians? Show me the fate of the far right extremists, Guavir and Smotrich. I think that's how you pronounce it. Will the far right members of the Israeli cabinet, along with Netanyahu, be replaced? So we get the Queen of Cups, looking after oneself, looking after others, and we get defeat. Okay, so we get defeat here, which is the Five of Swords. So what's going to be defeated? That's the abuse. So it looks like their reign comes to some kind of end. We get the Five of Pentacles at the foundation of the reading, which is worry. Five of Pentacles locked out. They could also be worried that there's no place for them going forward in a peaceful Middle East. We get the Five of Cups, disappointment. Yeah, okay, so the plan, the Greater Israel plan, to spread out in the Middle East, with the US dragging the US into perpetual wars. It's not happening anymore. We have the 10 of rods, which is oppression, but it's come out reversed, which means the end of oppression. The end of oppression, whether it's the relatives of hostages, Israeli hostages in Gaza, it's the end of oppression for the Israelis themselves. The Ace of Cups, God, thank you, a reset, a new beginning. And we get the deal is being done in the here and now, and removing these people was part of the deal. Netanyahu and those extremists removed. There will be a more moderate government in Israel at the end of the day. Now we get the 8 of Pentacles, prudence. That's an interesting interpretation there. The deal, a prudent deal was done. A prudent deal is being done. A prudent deal is being done. The Knight of Wands, which is in the hopes and fears that the plan moves forward. It doesn't stall, and then we get the Hierophant, the government, and it's a massive yes card. The government actually will change, and we get the Lovers card here. It's like their bloodlust is gone. And then we get the Prince of Cups. There will be deals offered to them, or there has been deals offered to them. And then we get the 8 of Pentacles, which is adjustment in the Thoth deck. There's an adjustment having to be made. And when we make adjustments, we do so in the middle of change. What causes us to make adjustments is change. So a prudent deal has already been done for these people to go. We're just going through the machinations of it now. The 10 of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune here. Change. Good change is coming. Now, who negotiated the deal? The Gulf countries. Who's going to take credit for it? Trump. But you're going to hate me when I say that. I hope not hate me, but it doesn't matter if he takes credit for it. I don't care, so long as the bloodshed stops. Gazans get peace and stop being murdered en masse. The hostages come home. The Middle East is peaceful, and our countries don't have to be dragged in to wars that have nothing to do with us. All right. Okay, so a lot of change coming for Israel. A lot of change. And if you don't believe me, if you say, oh, Netanyahu's doing this and he won't go and whatever, come back and see me in 6 months or a year. Just come back and see me and say, oh, yeah, that's correct. Your assessment was correct. Okay, so let's move to change back decks and put them through the card shuffler. Bear with me. This hand operation can't come soon enough, but while it does, we adapt. Life is about adaptation. Okay, and flexibility as well. Okay, so I want to know let's go over to America now. One would say that we may not have left, given the intricacies, the entwinement of Israel with America. All right, will SCOTUS find that Trump acted, but it's an entwinement that is loosening. And it's loosening because the people don't want that relationship. If you look at the polls, you'll see the majority do not want to have Israel saying what America's foreign policy should be. And that's of all persuasions. Left, right, brindle, blue, purple, whatever. Okay, so in Australia, we don't want it either. All right, will SCOTUS find that Trump acted illegally in deploying the National Guard? And also a shout out to those Jews that are on the same page as me. If we were closer, we would have lunch. I'd love to have lunch with you. Okay, all right, so will SCOTUS find that Trump acted illegally in deploying the National Guard without governor authority? I think that's the clue here, governor authority. Will the Supreme Court, the US Supreme Court, SCOTUS, find Trump acted illegally in deploying the National Guard without the governor's approval. Will the Supreme Court find that Trump deployed the National Guard illegally without the governor's approval? Come on, what about states' rights? Toxicity, the devil. Why am I not surprised to see that card? And we get a surprise here. A surprise about the toxicity. A surprise about the devil. Something that overcomes that toxicity, and we're surprised by it. I hope that's a good indication. We get the Ace of Cups, which is new starts, emotional resets. It's a good card. It's like we're feeling a lot better. The King of Pentacles is in the past. Yeah, we should do another reading on Trump's health. The King of Wands is in the sky. That's also Congress as well. Why would the Congress come into it? It's got nothing to do with Congress. Or has it? Anyway, let's have a look. The Wheel of Fortune, change, good change. Moving out of troubled waters can be the actual deployment. And the Star card. Yeah, I think you should be hopeful. The judge that ruled in Oregon was a Trump appointee in 2019, and she was scathing. She said, I live here. Oregon is not under siege, is not invaded. So we're going to see the wood, the trees for the wood now. We're actually going to sort all this out in the future. Now we get retreat in the hopes and fears. And then we get boundaries. Out of all the cards in the tarot, that makes me confident to say, yes, they will find that he can't do it, or however they're going to word it to give him an out. But he can't do it anymore. That's the Supreme Court's decision, because this is boundaries. This is boundaries. And then we get the Empress card. You're going to see the women coming together again. So it may not be a unanimous decision, but the women play a good role. Now we have here the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak and betrayal. And then we get the Five of Cups here. So I have 2 yeses and 2 nos. And then we get wish fulfillment, making it 3 yeses and 2 nos. Okay, so I'm just going to interpret this as I see. I see the American public feeling absolutely despairing and betrayed by military on their streets. I see the Supreme Court. This is a bridge too far for Trump, and they're going to say, no, you can't do it. So we have here the Emperor card, which is control. His control is like a house, the 3 little pigs and the wolf coming. He's a house of sticks. It's a house of sticks. At any point it can drop. We have isolation, locking people out. What is that? People becoming victims, losing their rights. All right, let's draw a clarifier for you. I feel intuitively, what can you show me? Will the Supreme Court find that Trump acted illegally? Will the Supreme Court find that Trump acted illegally? Okay, it's around the right to protest as well. All right, so we get the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles, which is another yes card. And then we get the Three of Cups, abundance. This is like wealth and abundance, okay? Not in a negative sense. This is about American cities having the right to prosper, the citizens having the right to go about their business unencumbered by this military violence that is happening right now. And we have here, when I say military violence, the kind of scenes you're seeing playing out. Black Hawk helicopters, ICE and the feds parachuting down into apartment blocks, turning people's lives upside down. This is not going to be allowed. And we get the Nine of Wands again as a clarifier. Boundaries will be upheld. So I'm really glad I did that clarification. Boundaries will be upheld. Americans have the right to live their lives without this kind of shambles, this brutalization, this Anyway, the Supreme Court will come down on the side of the governors on this one. Okay, and watch the women come together, and it could be the women and Roberts vote. But I do think that there will be, there may only be 2, 3 dissenting at the most. It may not be unanimous, but the court will say that he doesn't have that right. Okay, because that would be akin to allowing the military on the streets. All right. That's a good thing. We'll let's go to the shutdown because that's uppermost in your mind, and then we'll pull a kipper here. Does Trump cave on the shutdown? He doesn't seem worried about it. The majority of people blame the Republicans. Does Trump cave on the shutdown? Does Trump cave on the shutdown? Does Trump cave on the shutdown? Does Trump cave in eventually? It's greater than 3 weeks, I think. Does Trump cave in on the shutdown? Yeah, he offers the deal. The Ten of Pentacles. It's, yeah. There's a deal being offered. So decisions need to be made. He's going to offer a deal. It may not be all that the Democrats want, so they're going to have to make decisions here. The Knight of Pentacles, stability is in the past. We do have the Star card coming here. There is hope, and we have retreat. Does he cave? Does he retreat? The Lovers card in the here and now, and the Four of Wands. Okay, so yeah, partisanship in the hopes and fears. And the outcome card is pausing something, the past, going back to the past, and then lies and deceit. Not so quickly here. So he offers a deal. He offers a deal which makes it very difficult for Democrats to accept, because there's a lie here. There's lies here. It's got something to do with the past, and then we get the Wheel of Fortune and moving out of troubled waters. It's eventually brokered. He offers something, the Democrats can't accept it, but they eventually broker some kind of deal. It's not everything the Democrats want. So Trump gets to save face in a way, but the shutdown is over because I get the Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Swords, moving out of troubled waters. Burdens, heavy decisions. All sides want the victory. Some have said, I think it's Robert Reich, the former Clinton's former cabinet secretary of Labor, I think he was, says it'll be the air traffic controllers, the lack of the air traffic controllers that will eventually, given that most people blame the Republicans, I think Trump does offer some sort of deal. The Ace of Swords, the truth. Yes, okay, so he does offer some sort of deal, but it's nefarious in its very nature. Why am I not surprised? Eventually they negotiate and get to some kind of agreement. Now, I don't think that's later rather than sooner. Okay, so let's have a look at the Kipper. Where are you? Pardon me. Where did the card go? I have the main mail somewhere. Where is it? Where are you? Hold on. I can't find the card. It's just disappeared. I do have the main female though, so I'll just put that down like that. And we'll pretend that's Trump. Okay. All right, Trump. Can you show me Trump? Can you show me Trump, please, for October? What's coming up for Donald Trump in October? What's coming up for Donald Trump in October? So we'll do a line of the past, a line of the present, and a line of the future. What's coming up for Donald Trump in October? So in the past we have thoughts. A woman is on his mind. I wonder what that could be. I do get a pull to Melania. Poverty, left out in the cold. This is in the past, and despair. Okay, so his marriage, or Melania, I don't know. They're rumoured to be fighting, but it's an unhappiness in the past. Okay, what's in the present? The courthouse. Okay, so this is the shutdown. This is SCOTUS. And this is his fortune, his great fortune. In the past, it's him despairing, comes back into power. There's an unlawfulness, as we know. And also he's making billions out of the presidency. So he's kind of happy in the present. Now, in the future, we have bad health. Bad health in the future. Well, I'd say the present. And the house. Maybe confined to bed, a period of illness. And then we get a mature woman here. A mature woman, and clarified by a gift. A mature woman and a gift. His donors. What's going on here? Journey. Message of concern. Expectation. And we get new pathways for him. I think in the future, it kind of goes with my readings. He doesn't make it through a full presidency, and that's in the future. Well, that's in the here and now, I think. His bad health. Let's do some clarification on this card. Okay, the bad health card. All right, let's do a little bit of clarification on this card. It's in the future. All right, what can you show me? Something wants to come out. Courtship. I think that's, getting JD Vance ready to take over. All right, show me the bad health. Show me the bad health card. A gift. His bad health is a gift. Oh my God, and imprisonment. Well, I've never seen him go to prison. Yeah, confined to quarters. So in the very distant future, yeah. Bad health is going to work out in our favour, but also I think in his, because I think he has broken the law. He has broken the law in so many ways, and with a law-abiding president, doesn't matter whether it's Republican or Democrat, a law-abiding president in power, what would you do with that? Well, he's going to be too ill and too frail to do anything with. I don't see him surviving anyway, to get to that point. So bad health is in his future, and I think we're seeing it now, and it's just going to get worse. Okay then, bye for now, and have a great day, everybody.